Welcome everyone back to the Boudoir. I am your host, Aisha Jones. In episode 11 today, we are going to be talking all about self-esteem. Specifically, how to build your self-esteem from the ground up. Today is all about self-love and self-compassion and how to really unlock that true inner self-confidence. And hopefully through these tips, we are able to rebuild that self-esteem and unlock that inner queen that I know is in there. So first, we have to identify the signs of poor self-esteem. According to an article written by Kendra Cherry, a few signs that you may have poor self-esteem are: you lack self-trust, you're constantly comparing yourself to others, you engage in people-pleasing behavior, you feel little control over your life, you don't reinforce boundaries. If this sounds like you, strap in. We have a lot to go over in this episode. So what does healthy self-esteem look like? Well, what most of us are striving for is a healthy sense of self, which may look like believing you deserve to be loved and heard. So believing that your opinions are important and are worthy of being listened to. It looks like believing you deserve to be loved and you deserve to have a healthy, stable love in all forms, not just romantic, but friendship and family. Having high self-esteem means that you do not accept poor mistreatment for others. You have a very low tolerance and threshold for people just like dangling you around and playing with you. You know when to walk away, and you know when something is not aligning with what you have as your values and what your boundaries are. When people cross that intentionally, unintentionally, when people cross that and go way too overboard, you know when to walk away and you know what feels best for you. Self-esteem can also affect how you go about your goals. So if you have maybe a lower self-esteem, you may not want to go after the things you want because you don't think you deserve it or that you're worthy of it. When you have a low self-esteem mindset, it can really hinder you and set you back from actually starting what you want to start or continuing. You may not go for the job you want because you don't think you're worthy of it, or you don't think you're going to pass the interview, or you may not believe you deserve nice things as a result of your hard work, and so you don't go for them because you're scared, or not even, you don't even have to be scared, but you just don't feel like it's worth it or that you're worth it. Through these tips I'm going to be sharing in this episode, you will be able to improve your life tenfold because your self-esteem is going to go through the roof. These tips will help you see the true power and worth that you have innately within yourself. So the first way to rebuild your self-esteem is you have to forgive yourself. Maybe you have poor self-esteem because you were once a people pleaser and you were one of those people that just overexerted yourself and you were everything for everybody. But when it comes time to taking care of yourself and giving yourself that same energy in return, you're depleted because you don't have any left to give. You're putting on all these hats and you're trying to be all these great things for everybody else and making everybody else feel at ease and not speak up for yourself. And when you feel disrespected, you don't do anything about it. And when that goes on for years and years and years and years, it all stacks up. And eventually you're going to blow up and you're going to be like, listen, I'm tired of this lifestyle. I've been helping everybody else. I've been serving everybody else. They've all been benefiting from my labor and my energy. But what about me? Who's going to take care of me? So because you were in this like low vibrational state and you didn't have the courage to speak up for yourself, you let a lot of stuff slide. But remember, despite all of that, despite all of the things that you did not know, remember that you literally don't know what you don't know. So don't be too hard on yourself when you realize some of the things that you let slide, or some of the things that you didn't know how to go about solving. Don't be too hard on yourself about that. You deserve more forgiveness, and if nobody else is going to give that forgiveness to you for how they treated you, at the very least you have to forgive yourself for overexerting and not listening to your own needs. So I always preach in my videos not to focus on what happened exactly, or what you didn't do, what actions you didn't take, or what you wish you could go back in time and fix. It is not helpful for you and your growth to continue thinking about what happened in the past, when what you should do and what the best way to really get that self-esteem back and to really know that you have your own back is to forgive yourself. If you're not used to hearing I'm sorry, you have to tell yourself sorry. You're sorry for maybe neglecting to see certain red flags in people, or not choosing the best course of action, or not taking any action towards what you want, and so now you're in a place where you don't feel like you're able to. The quickest way to get out of that mindset is to know that you can't possibly know everything all at once. Like, each stage in life you're gonna learn something. Like, even now you may think you know everything now, but in the next 5, 10, 15 years you may have a completely different outlook on life than what you had at this current moment. Even though you think that this is the exact way you should be living, you might change that because you have so much more life to live and so much more to experience. And this is only who your self-concept is in this specific little chunk of time. So yes, maybe back then you were somebody who accepted bare minimum effort, who accepted poor treatment, disrespect, didn't know how to speak up for yourself. But that doesn't now have to be your story forever. You can choose to decide to make a reality where people respect you, your feelings are valid, you are heard, and you are 100% in love with who you are. So tell yourself that you promise that you're going to take more care of yourself, because as we all know, self-care goes beyond like a little face mask and a little washing your hair and stuff. It's your spirituality, it's your physical health, your mental health, all of that. It's all encompassing. So when you have poor self-esteem, you're not really taking those things into consideration. You may do things that are not good for you. You may do self-sabotaging things because you haven't unlocked within yourself yet that you are not deserving of this poor treatment at all. But once you finally just learn how to forgive yourself and accept that maybe you did take some missteps in life, but you could always course correct. There is always time to course correct. So now is the time to forgive yourself. Be vulnerable with yourself. Don't be scared to be vulnerable. Be honest. It's you. If you can't even be honest with your own self, who can you be honest with? You know, you have to create a safe space for yourself that allows you to feel vulnerable and to ask these hard questions about yourself. Like, why do I have poor self-esteem? What led me to this point? What choices have I made that have put me in this mindset? What can I do to get myself out of this mindset? You know, a lot of us try to run away from things and numb things with things like alcohol and other substances that I can't really say on these platforms, but we all know, like, a lot of people try to run away, even with physical intimacy and partying and socializing and doing everything except actually sitting down with yourself and figuring out what the root of the problem is. And it's natural to do that because we as humans, this is scientifically proven, we're always chasing comfort. That's why a lot of us sit in our bed and just scroll because it's comfortable. It's easy. We don't have to really exert any brain power because all we're doing is just doing one single motion the whole time, just scrolling. We may get good videos, we might get terrible videos, we might get videos that we don't care about. We might see somebody's face that we will never see ever again. They're just a small little blip in our mind. But our attention spans are so short that we've already forgotten about them and moved on to the next best thing because we like comfort. But you have to create a safe space for yourself to have these conversations that are not always easy to have. I mean, confronting yourself and being completely dead honest is not an easy thing to do, which is why a lot of people tend to run away and hide and numb themselves with those things I listed before because it's easy. But in order to ascend and to get your self-esteem where you want it to be, you have to check in and you have to be honest. Like, you can't lie your way into a healing journey. Like, you have to actually be truthful and answer those hard questions and uncover those harsh truths. But building that foundation of forgiveness and having that safe space to go where it's like, I'm okay. I'm with myself. I know that I may make more poor decisions in the future. I may make great decisions. But no matter what I choose to do, I will always have a safe space, yourself, to land on. The basis of self-esteem is building that inner strength within yourself that you could always fall back on when the outside world gets to you. Your job, your boss yells at you for no reason. You know, somebody is giving you an attitude. Instead, most people would internalize those things and think that it's a question about their actual self-worth. Other people with higher self-esteem would just be like, they're having a bad day and just move on with their life. Now, in some cases, some people really are being rude and they really are trying you, and you have to set the standard for how you want to be spoken to. And that's another thing that people with high self-esteem will do. They're able to deduce and understand when somebody is challenging them and like trying to make them feel smaller, or just they're just having a bad day. Like, the clerk is just, you're never going to see that person again. A coworker that's trying to be funny, or a boss. Sometimes you do have to set the standard for how you want to be treated, and that is a sign of high self-worth. Create a safe space for yourself to make more mistakes in the future, because more mistakes are bound to come. You're always learning. Like, everything is a learning experience, and so you have to create that safe, comfortable, cushy landing to come back on. If your basis is being mean to yourself yourself and doing like those self-deprecating jokes and stuff. You have to foster a safe environment for yourself. And you can simply do that, as corny as it sounds, you can simply do this by saying sorry to yourself and then forgiving yourself. Like, hey, for example, hey, Aisha, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I let you down. I'm sorry that maybe I made a choice that set you back a little bit, but it is okay. I forgive myself for that. I know that that is just one little blip on my entire radar. I know that there's so much more to learn, and I have the space to do better in the future, because I'm not gonna like sit here and beat myself up over making a mistake. I'm not gonna do those self-deprecating behaviors anymore, because that's not going to make me better. That's not going to make me feel safe and make me feel safe to try things. So again, if you're a people pleaser, if you let people walk all over you, you can't be quick to forgive everybody else for dragging you through the mud. You can't be so quick to forgive everybody else but not forgive yourself in return. Like, come on. You have to give that same energy back to yourself. If you find yourself overexerting your energy and you're always giving but you're not getting anything back, call that energy back to yourself. Maybe if you're the reliable one that's always there, even at 2 a.m., 4 a.m., doesn't matter, you're always there to help and nobody gives you that same energy back, stop answering texts as frequently. Pull back a little bit. Give yourself that energy back in return. Pour that into your hobbies. Pour that into what you like to do in your free time. You can't pour from an empty cup, you know? So you're going to have to take some of that energy back. And the people that are truly there for you and really care for you are not going to make a big deal out of it, and they're not going to feel like they're missing something now. And the ones that do make a big deal, we're probably highly benefiting from all of your energy and all of your time and just taking and taking. So just be mindful, but always forgive yourself. Like, just know when you make a mistake, you can always forgive yourself. Number 2 is radical self-acceptance. This is literally the key to winning in life. Like, I promise you, once you accept yourself for your flaws, your amazing qualities, everything top to bottom, it's just going to change your life. Remember that you are a human being doing life for the first time ever. Like, this is your first time being a human being. This is your first time being an adult. You've never done this before. Nobody has given you a manual. Even if they have given you a manual, it's still not going to be your exact specific experience, because it's going to be a lot of nuance, because we're all different individuals with different lives and backgrounds. But because you're a human being doing life for the first time, you're going to make mistakes. Like I was saying before, anticipate mistakes to happen, because again, you're just learning for the first time. You have to almost gentle parent yourself, right? For example, if a kid spills juice on the floor, are you gonna beat that kid? Are you gonna yell at them, berate them? I hope not. But no, they're a kid. Like, they don't understand. They're just now developing their fine motor skills. Like, they're literally 5 years old. They don't know any better. It's not a mistake that's gonna, end the world. Like, it's fine. It may take you a little bit to clean up, but nothing bad is gonna happen. It's the same thing with you. You have to give yourself the courage and the safety to mess up and fail. If you want to be a content creator, but you're scared of being perceived, you're scared of people talking about you, you're scared of being talked about, you're never going to try, because you're so focused on what the perception of your content is going to be, rather than focusing on the content and making your content better. So you have to give yourself the courage and the space to say, you know what, maybe all of my videos aren't going to go viral right away. Like, maybe I might be stuck in the 200 views jail or whatever, or like I only get 5 views and it's from your grandma, your mom, and you. But you're still doing it. Like, you're still daring to be radically yourself, and you're still daring to put yourself out there and accepting the fact that you have the desire to do something. When you ignore those desires and you ignore your calling, you're going to feel so low about yourself, because you're not doing what you're meant to do. And that nagging feeling is always going to be there, and it's never going to go away, and you're just going to continue trying to fill that void with other things that are not what you actually want. So you have to have the full, radical, just complete sheer audacity to be yourself. Me, for example, I was scared for a long time to make my own podcast. I was scared that people would think that my opinions were weird or whatever, or like nobody would watch. But here I am making videos. Some of them do well, some of them don't, and it's okay, but I'm just speaking my authentic truth, and I feel successful because I said I wanted to start a podcast, and now I'm on week 11. If you're going on YouTube, you obviously want views and stuff, but I wanted to do this because I truly care about the things I'm talking about, and I just want my voice to be heard. So don't try to hide behind like, oh, I'm scared, I don't want to mess up, I don't want to do this, because then you're never going to actually do it. Of course, it's scary to put yourself out there, or to like move to a new city or something, or just do something that is completely foreign to you. Everybody has to start out as a complete beginner, like seriously. So the only way you get better and the only way you actually get good at what you want to do is by doing it. You can't be a six-figure business owner if you don't get your LLC, if you don't learn how to run a business. So dare to try. Like seriously, all these people, all these celebrities, all these famous people are famous because they tried and they kept trying, and then eventually they got to a point where they were really good at what they do. That could be you. You just have to be so sure and so positive that you can succeed, and even if you don't always get what you want, you still know that you can get right back up and do it again. And also another thing I had to learn is try not to be so judgmental with yourself. Like, accept all of your quirks and flaws, accept all of the things that hinder you, accept all of the things that may set you back, accept everything about yourself, and accept the fact that you do want to change, accept the fact that you do want positive change. For example, just because you may want to lose, let's say 50 pounds, that doesn't mean you have to hate yourself. That doesn't mean you hate who you are and you're losing this weight out of like some sort of weird hatred towards yourself. Maybe you're doing that because you care about yourself. Just because you want to improve something and just because you're on this self-improvement journey, I feel like a lot of people have this like negative connotation when it comes to like self-help or whatever, but positive change is a good thing. Like, I think that is a form of self-care. If you know that you're doing self-destructive habits and you're not going outside, you're not walking, you're not taking care of yourself, and you want to change that, what's the problem? I think that's positive. I think that's a good thing. I think that's actually a form of accepting the fact that you have the desire to change. Accept the fact that you're not happy in the position you're in and you want to do better. That doesn't necessarily mean you hate yourself or you don't love yourself. That just means I love myself so much that I'm not going to ignore that I really want to get on this fitness journey, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. So just remember that, like, you can accept your flaws, you can accept yourself for where you are right now, you can accept who you were in the past, even if you don't agree and line up with all of the decisions that you used to make, you can still accept that part of you, and you can accept the part of you where you're going to go in the future. Accept all of it. Like, it's a part of you, it's a part of your story, and it's a part of what framed you into who you are now. Even clicking this video, like, would you have clicked a video like this 5 years ago, 2 years ago? Accept the fact that you are now evolving as a person and like you want different things out of life now. That's a good thing. That's positive. Every aspect of you deserves to be loved, even the difficult parts. You deserve to be loved, period, because you're a human. Like, that's all it is. You deserve to be loved, period. Like, don't let all this extra stuff, don't let what society tells you, get in your head. Like, you deserve to be treated like a human being because you are one, and just accept that you desire certain things out of life and go for them. Give yourself a nice hug and say, I love you. Everything is going to be okay, and I will accept you through every aspect of life. So next, I want you to know what your boundaries are and know what makes you uncomfortable. Select boundaries that make you feel safe and comfortable and whatever works for your lifestyle. So if you know you don't like when people call you or contact you after a certain hour, make that clear. Don't respond to their text. If they're texting you at like 11:59 at night and you know for a fact and you've already said, hey, I don't like to speak past a certain hour, don't respond. That's what I do. But know what makes you uncomfortable and identify things from your upbringing that still make you uncomfortable to this day so that you can conquer them. So for example, your poor self-esteem may come from childhood bullying. Maybe you were picked on because of like the whatever interest you had. Maybe you were into anime or just something that was unique or different from the norm. People tend to pick on somebody who's considered a so-called easy target, and they take their light away from them because they see that they're so comfortable with who they are and they're just fully radically loving who they are, and they want to take that light away from them because it makes them feel sick knowing they don't have that same light within themselves. So if you were bullied, you were probably somebody that was just apologetically yourself, and people didn't like that. So just know the light is already there, the confidence is already there because it was probably there in childhood and somebody was just like, I want a piece of that, and then took it away from you. But you could always get it back because it never left, okay? So know what makes you uncomfortable and know the things that you are still processing and working through. And now that you know what you've been through, you now know what to look out for as you're moving about the world, and you can avoid those types of people. Even if you do come across those types of people, you've now built up a self-concept that is so high and that is so like under lock and key that you'll just know, okay, y'all, you're not my people, and you just move on and you go somewhere else and you go where you're you're wanted and you go where you feel safe. Something I like to do is I like to study human behavior. I like to study body language. I like to study psychology, learn from people that are very smart and that are experts in their field when it comes to like human behavior, because it's just good to know what types of personalities exist out there. And the most important part about a boundary is that you must stick to them. So you can't be like, oh, I'm not going to accept X, Y, and Z from a man, and then here you are accepting X, Y, and Z from said man. You can't do that. You have to stick to your boundaries and not waver from them. Because what good is a boundary if you're not going to uphold it? So let's say you set a boundary with somebody like a new friend or a spouse, and that boundary is, I don't like to be roasted. I don't like those jokes where it's just we're constantly joking with one another and we can't tell if the joke is real or if it's fake. Like the lines get blurred. If you let them know that and they are receptive to it and they change their ways and they're willing to accommodate for you, that means they care about you. That means that is somebody that it's worth having around you and worth, and worth having in your life. Whereas somebody who is disrespectful and you need to be watching out for and probably getting away from is somebody who continues to do it even after you told them it makes you uncomfortable. That is the person you don't want to be around, because they do not care if your boundaries are being crossed. They're going to do it anyway because they just think it's funny. That's not a good thing. Having boundaries will save you so much time and effort in the long run. There's no need of like sticking around and waiting to see how it's going to play out. You already know you don't like something. You said it, you made it clear, they're still doing it. So there's no point of going back and forth with a person because they're just never going to listen to you. There's no point. Next, don't judge yourself for your thoughts. When you really break it down and like look at the science of what the human experience is, we're literally people trapped inside of like a giant meat suit. Like we're literally trapped inside of a body and we can't get out of it no matter how much we may want to at times. We are literally always trapped in this body, okay? And then on top of that, we are forced to listen to this, basically a computer, which is your brain 24/7. And you're trying to navigate and sort through all of those thoughts that are just always constantly reoccurring. And you can never get away from your brain, ever. You can meditate, you can do those types of things, but you can really never get away from your body and your brain. You're always trapped in there. And listen, especially if you have ADHD, if you're somewhere on the spectrum, if you have, years and years of pent-up trauma, just imagine how much more erratic that computer is. All of these things that are going on. Just imagine, okay? So just be cognizant of the fact that we are literally human beings. We're going through a lot. We're going through a lot all the time, a lot of thoughts going around. You may get like random judgmental thoughts that come out or like self-deprecating thoughts, but that doesn't mean that has to be your identity. Like a thought is simply just a feeling. Like it comes and it goes. A thought comes and goes. Oh, I'm hungry. The thought's gone. Oh, I want ice cream. The thought's gone. Oh, this, I have to do that. I have this to do. Like you just get a bunch of thoughts and then they go away just as quickly as they came. Some thoughts linger. Some thoughts you ruminate on them, but it's just a feeling. That's all it is. And feelings are temporary, as we all know. You may feel ugly in this moment, but I guarantee you if you got up, if you took a shower, if you, fix yourself up a little bit, you wouldn't feel as ugly. You just felt it in the moment. Maybe you're PMSing or something. Or you got a pimple. You just feel ugly in the moment. You're not actually ugly. So long as you choose that that's not your reality. Like it's up to you to make sure that that's your reality. If you don't think you're ugly, then you're not. It doesn't matter what anybody else's perception is. It matters what your own perception of yourself is. But back to what I was saying, like don't judge yourself for having even mean thoughts. Like sometimes thoughts come and go. And guess what? We're all socialized in this big crazy world where each and every other business day we're told, oh, you need your buccal fat removal, you need your blah 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 fat, you need this procedure, you need this product to hide this insecurity that I didn't know I suddenly had, but now I do. Like it's just a constant overflow of information coming at us. We're on our phones 24/7. It's just so many ads, so many everything. And then on top of that, you're internalizing those thoughts and processing it along with the thoughts that are already in your own head. It's a lot. And that can drive people into depressive states. That can drive people to anxiety because all those things are our thoughts. Like those all come from thoughts. So again, just because you feel ugly doesn't mean you necessarily have to act ugly. And what I mean by act ugly is you don't have to carry a mindset of, oh, I'm an ugly person, so let me shrink myself. Let me not go for opportunities because I'm so ugly, and let me just hide myself. And you don't have to live like that. You don't have to align with that thought that comes in your head. You can align with the thought that I'm beautiful. that I'm worthy, that I deserve to be in certain rooms. I deserve to be where I want to be. It really is a choice. Like, it really does all come down to choice. But just remember that you're always internalizing the world that's around you. So don't be surprised if you're carrying other people's thoughts subconsciously and they just might bleed into your real everyday life. But that doesn't have to be your story. That doesn't have to be what your identity is. And remember, like, a lot of us get so like stuck in our head and we're very cerebral. I'm one of these people too. Like, you just spend all your days overthinking, but you literally have to remember that you are one little tiny microscopic piece of this whole entire collective. So chances are you're not the only one going through these thoughts. You're not the only one feeling anxious. You're not the only one feeling depressed. So remember that you're one piece of the collective. Put yourself among the collective again. Call your friend. Talk to the people in your community. Go outside, go take a walk, be in nature. Put yourself back into the collective, especially if you're used to just staying at home, you're a homebody. Put yourself back outside. Remember that you are a part of the world. It's not just you. We can feel like our mind is a prison and like we're so trapped in this one way of thinking and you can't get out, but you literally can. Like, you just have to go outside of yourself. Stop being so in your head and like so in here. Just go out and like see the world for what it actually is and how beautiful it is, and that will in turn rewire how you think about yourself. Even sometimes a little bit of like body movement can get that stuck stagnant energy out of you. So when people say go work out, go journal, go meditate, like, they don't say it for fun. Like, those things actually can help because it puts you among the collective energy of people, and it like takes you out of your own little world in your head and it puts you back into the present, into the reality that we're all living in. And finally, my last tip is to be conceited. Yup, you heard that right. Be conceited, folks. You gotta be conceited. You need to find a local Leo or a local fire sign and start embodying their characteristics. But on a serious note though, I want you to celebrate yourself. I want you to learn how to give yourself compliments and to compliment your work and to compliment your thinking. It goes beyond your exterior and just your looks and stuff, but that's definitely a good place to start. You can go in your mirror and you can point out all of the things that you like about your face. Your eye color, how pretty your hair is, you know, your birthmarks, your freckles. Really get accustomed to who you are and celebrate those parts of yourself. Wear colors that accentuate your skin tone. Has anybody tried to do those TikTok color analysis? Because I try. I think I'm a fall, an autumn. I think I'm an autumn, but I don't know. I want to get like a professional one from Korea. But you can find clothes that complement your skin tone, find makeup styles that complement your face and that make you feel good. But whatever you do, make sure you're celebrating yourself and all accomplishments that are, whether they're big or small. You finished your essay, you got a good grade on it, you got promoted. Celebrate all of it. Like, you deserve to be celebrated through every step in life. Wear the dress that makes you feel pretty, wear the lipstick that makes you feel good, but be conceited and take up space in this world. You deserve to be as loud and proud about yourself as you want. And especially if you're a woman, people try to downplay it and act like you're not supposed to, you know, give yourself flowers. Applaud for yourself, clap for yourself. You deserve it, okay? Obviously, don't be mean, don't be over the top, but we're talking about just purely loving on ourselves out loud and taking up space, because that's what we all need to do. All of us need to do a little bit more of that. All of us ladies, we all need to take up more space, be proud, be who you are. Play music that makes you feel good and dance and move your body. I love to dance. It makes me feel so good. And appreciate the vessel that is literally carrying you throughout life. Like, show yourself love. Eat nutritious foods. Eat foods that comfort your soul too. Like, just truly appreciate the vessel that gets you from point A to point B, and that got you from all the way to childhood to the age that you are now, and that the age that it's going to take you when you're old and gray, okay? But do things that actually show that you appreciate yourself, whatever you like to do. If a good day of appreciation for you looks like putting on your favorite show and ordering your favorite food, then that's what you should do, okay? But through these tips, you should definitely start feeling a whole lot better about yourself. And what better time to start a new lifestyle regimen than right now in the spring? It is warm, it is sunshine. This beautiful world is mirroring back to you how beautiful you are. So you better take up space, okay? I want you to take up space and post that content. Go for that job. Go apply. Go on LinkedIn. Okay? You spend enough time procrastinating. Get on LinkedIn. Okay? Go on Canva and do that little infographic. Whatever you're doing, do it. All right, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode and you found something useful to take with you. But seriously, don't be scared to take up space in this world. You deserve it. You earned it. and congratulate yourself out loud. And don't forget that you have a whole world of people that are going through the same things as you. You're not alone. So don't get stuck in that like isolated space. You are among a huge collective of people, okay? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and make sure you rate me 5 stars if you're listening on Spotify and Apple. We really need to get this message out there, okay? And we are growing our Boudoir Babe family slowly but surely. Thank you everyone who has been watching my videos and supporting my content this far. I truly do appreciate everybody that comes and stumbles upon my page and clicks and listens to these episodes. I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much, and I will talk to you guys next week. Bye!